What is up? So, here's something that you'll never have to experience that the United States is currently going through. A Pluto return. Because I don't think any of us will make it to 248, which is the number of years that Pluto returns back to the original point of a birth chart or a natal chart, we will experience it as a nation, as a country. And that is what you're seeing right now. When a country has a Pluto return, and so United States, it's not exactly at that point yet. It will reach there in, I think, February of 2022, but it's within 3 degrees away. And each year it gets closer and closer, and then it goes into retrograde, goes back a little bit, but we're closer to this point of a Pluto return. And what does that mean for us as a country? It simply means that upon our start, and I'm using the Sibley chart, which there's many contested United States birth charts. This one, I think, is the most widely considered accurate, although again, that's a whole other thing of controversy. But a Pluto return is saying, okay, where Pluto was to where it is now, what truths did you hide from the world? What did you promise on the onset? Like, where is there a discrepancy between the promise of this and the reality of where our world is now? And so anything that we have masked or swept under the rug or decorated to look really pretty, even though the insides were rotting and corrosive, anything in our system, because it's a country and not a person, anything that we work to conceal and to make to look one way so that people wouldn't say that's disgusting, we can't go on like that, is being revealed now. So all of the things in the Declaration of Independence, all of the promises and all of the ideals, those which are not met for all and are not equal and not consistent with integrity, because Pluto is in Capricorn, because the United States, the natal Pluto is in Capricorn. If there were shortcuts, if there is a lack of integrity to the dedication made upon the founding of our United States, America, then shit is going to come up to die. First, the stage one is like unmasking, so that it's very clear where we fell short. If you don't, in Capricorn, with Capricorn energy, with Pluto, if you don't hit your target, all of your shortcomings and all of the attempts that you failed will be glaringly put in front of you. And then the second part, or B, is like destroying of the false promises, destroying of what has been concealed. And 3, or C, is getting to this clean slate. Now, clean slates sound great. We always say, like, this is a clean slate between us, but do we recognize that clean slate is truly taking everything off the table? And so people that have this idea of going back to an ideal time, that is just complete bullshit. Not just reality politically based, but also because Pluto doesn't allow that to live, which is a lie, and which is predicated on a lie, and which is predicated on a false promise. Pluto unveils the deepest truth, and it is like detective energy times 1,000. It gets to, like, even when you think you've gotten to the bottom of it, it lifts another rock up to reveal more deep truth. So the layers and layers of inconsistencies, of lies, of atrocities, of murders, and what we're seeing right now with the murder of George Floyd, the murder of Breonna Taylor, the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, these are just sadly examples of thousands of atrocities that defied what the Declaration of Independence set out to be. The ideal versus the ideal that we've worked so hard as a country to uphold and to show that, look, we're America, we're upholding these ideals of democracy. And then the truth of where there was inconsistencies and where there was just an absolute miss, an absolute just fallacy and contradiction of those ideals, and where we tried to hide those injustices and inequalities and all those things that helped us miss the mark to keep this like identity that we're one thing. So United States is getting their comeuppance, and I know that sounds like, and I recognize like fully the politically charged nature of this video, but we see it. We see the systems breaking down. The systems that promised one thing, but when the truth is exposed, falter and fall short, are being gone, are being moved to the extinction rack. And that is a good thing, because with Pluto, the positive thing about Pluto is, again, it brings you the clean slate. So yes, a lot has been we've been sweeping under the rug. Things have been like eradicated, but new things have the opportunity to grow. And you can learn from Pluto. Pluto, you can learn from like, oh, the pain we're feeling now and the unnecessary consequences of deceit, of injustice, of social injustice, we don't have to repeat that. We can learn. We can understand that, our world can be more sustainable. So if we have a Pluto return in 250 more years, it's built on stuff, especially with Capricorn. It has to have a foundation that is fair, that is integral, that has integrity, and that is built soundly, and not with any shortcuts, and not with any, well, this is fine, but we'll make an exception about this, or this has to be one way, but let's make a shortcut exception about this. So if you do it right, and as unified as I see so many people being right now, and it's going to take a lot of work, and Pluto going through Aquarius, and Saturn going through Aquarius, you're going to see how much work there is to get to this place. But to prevent another Pluto return that seems so destabilizing, where it's really not, it's really like, it's correcting grave errors in thinking, grave errors in judgment that our country collectively has exhibited. You have to have nothing to hide, and to know that every truth you accept and you take accountability for. And that's the last thing I want to say. Capricorn is accountability. So when we as a nation do not take accountability for the injustice, the inequality, the atrocity that we're seeing, it's just worse, because you're fighting Pluto. You're not surrendering to Pluto. You're saying, no, like, that's not fair. It's like, Pluto's not having that. You can't fight Pluto. You will lose. You can surrender to Pluto and let Pluto destroy that which is not working, and give an opportunity for rebirth, and give an opportunity to create something that will work for all people. And that is what you're seeing. I hope this helps. I don't know if it helps. I do hope that it's insightful, or like sheds light. It's hard. I always try to make these videos useful and to kind of explain in an astrological, or through an astrological lens, what's happening. So this is a long one. I hope you guys are well. I will talk to you soon.